I didn't see Angus on the floor. If Dokufu had it, how did they find it and him not there? Did Angus take it and like run off with it and then drop it somewhere? Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are here with another episode of Banner of the Stars 2. We are in the final 3 episodes of the, I guess technically the 3rd season, right? First season would be Crest of the Stars, and we had Banner of the Stars 1, and now we're in Banner of the Stars 2. Where we last left off, we have... I'm never going to say her name right, so I'm going to call her Duchess. Formerly, I've been regarding her as Baroness for some reason, and that was wrong. The Duchess is in the system. They're going to help defend for a bit against the oncoming allied United Mankind fleet that is going to be showing up. We've seen this in the next time on, so we know what's going to happen. Last time we saw Jinto, he was lying face down on the ground, so apparently something has happened there. I mean, obviously, we know what's happened there. There was a shootout. We believe Dokufu was probably dead. Anguson could have been dead. He let go of Jinto for some reason, obviously, maybe because he wanted to use his other hand in a fight, but my hope is that they've all killed each other. What I meant to say is that Jinto is just lying down, face down on the ground, hasn't moved, and we know that eventually he is going to be found in like a cave or something by the end of this whole thing, and quite possibly die. So he may be severely injured at the moment and in a comatose state, or I don't know. Otherwise, Tomasoff is now the acting director of the planet, or the acting administrator. No, wait. I don't know if it's administrator. He's the acting whoever is in charge right now on planet side, because, of course, Maydeen is dead. So, all that said, I don't think there's much left else to cover. So, let's hop on into it and see where we go from here. I used to play World of Warcraft with a guy named Calderel. It's incredibly quick. I don't know if that was like a fast forward thing or not, because we've gone from the perspective of needing like weeks or months to evacuate people, and I know we've kind of lowered the bar here and that we're only evacuating like one quadrant, but even that quadrant was what, 100,000 people, I believe? And before it was, oh, the transports have to leave, come back, leave, come back, leave, come back, and now we've managed to fit just about everybody into what we had here. And even more so, now we're at the point of, 5 hours till we reach fold space. Which is highly accelerating the narrative, which is fine. I think the thing that held Banner of the Stars 1 back was that it slowed down the narrative a whole lot, especially when it was a tonal shift from a character interaction sort of thing to a politics sort of thing. But we also had, I forgot to mention, we had lafiel, I don't say landing on the planet, but the ship went down there. And we don't know if she is actively going to leave and we're going to get the couple of months time jump, or if she's going to stay down there. Because actively she got from one of our crew, if you try to leave the ship, I will physically restrain you. So. I thought they already did. I thought they had this whole conversation last time in system.
一個偵察分艦隊にも劣る戦力ね。参謀長、30隻を5個の臨時修正戦隊に編成し、残った2隻を機関直属にしてちょうだい。了解しました。まさかこんなつまらない報告のためにこの絵艦隊みたいな戦いをしなくてはいけないなんてね。全く同感です。
I mean, to be fair, it's the only United Mankind fleet left to keep an eye on.
第1から第5まで編成完了しました。敵艦隊との距離200ケドレルを切りました。逃げないわね。それは
Oh, sorry, I forgot. We do these fights mostly in fold space if we can.
不利だと分かっていながら戦わないといけないなんて。同感です。まったく敵の方々落ち着いているわね。単に戸惑っているだけかもしれません。だとしたら
I guess technically you're also the first one to get to the glory, as per all those other conversations with the other admiral.
決めたわ。参謀長、敵艦へ砲艦通信をお願い。何と撃つのですか。この戦闘は双方にとって無意味だわ。私たちにとっては言わずもがな、あちらにしてもたかだか数時間早く通常宇宙に降りるために損害を被るなんて理不尽じゃない。何より事情を知らなかったら敵の方は政界軍の指揮官をバカだと思うに決まっている。つまり私をよ。ああ、そんなの耐えられない。
She is the best. I appreciate the momentary pride.
文面はそうね。我は狩人第一艦隊司令長官スポール提督。我らの目的はしばしロブナス門を保持するにある。無益な抵抗はやめ、東方が撤収するまで現地点におとなしくとどまりよるべし。こんなところかしら。多少文面を練った方がおよろしいかと存じますが。そう？まあ、
If you want them to stand down, I think you need to be less confrontational.
了解しました。我、帝国政界軍所属狩人第一艦隊。我らは戦火を交えるを好ます。6時間以内にこの領域より立ち去ることを約す。願わくば前進を控えんこと。
Yeah, I mean, that feels perfectly non-confrontational.
敵艦隊からの砲艦通信を受信。我、統合隊平和一軍所属サライ方面艦隊。
Oh, it is United Mankind.
即刻撤退すべしです。
すぐに撤収できるなら最初から布陣しないわよ。そんなこともわからないのが私の相手。1時間じゃ足りないって言ってやって。24時間の猶予を要求する。24時間ですか。私は6時間の猶予。
4 times as much as you originally requested.
うまくいっても5時間はかかるんでしょ。余裕を見て12時間は欲しいわ。今24時間の猶予を要求すると。
The good old negotiation tactic of asking for more and expecting less.
だったらわからないかもね。この世は定価だけで成り立っているわけじゃないの。相手から値切る楽しみを奪うなんて。
Yeah, she's literally just explaining it now.
とにかく24時間よ。はい。
返信です。汝先に6時間の猶予をこい。今24時間の猶予を要求する。我全く唖然たり。以上です。
さっきの通信は何かの間違いよ。改めて24時間の停止を要求する。
I guess this only works better in communications because honestly you did make the mistake of starting too low.
それだけに交易の規範にこだわらないかもしれませんよ。特に我々の規範には。その時は戦うだけよ。
返信です。猶予時間を4倍に引き延ばしたことへの説明を求む。
交渉が妥結した後に教えてあげるって言っておいて。
返信。理由を秘密裏にすることへの説明を求む。
それも秘密。
返信。汝を誠意ある交渉対象と認めがたし。
Yeah, this isn't going very well.
それは交渉断絶の通告なのと聞いて。強気すぎはしませんか。敵が肯定したら即座に戦闘開始ですよ。敵艦隊に動きはないわ。戦 戦闘回避に未練があるということよ。
しかし万が一
取引がまとまらないことは悲しいことよ。でもその悲しみを乗り越えて人は交易者として大成できる。
I mean, at the end of the day, it's assumed that a fight will happen. So,
私は一生
if you can negotiate or haggle, great.
もったいないわね、参謀長。
Otherwise, things are just going to turn out the way you expected them to.
まああなたの人生だから私はどうこう言うつもりはない。とにかく今取引しているのは私。さっさと質問を発信して。
返信。結論を出すには時期尚早と認む。24時間の猶予を汝が要求した事実を承知す。ただし当方はなお1時間以内の撤退を求むです。
言い方ね、敵の指揮官は。
That wasn't a very good haggle.
どこのどなたか存じ上げないけれども、私の遊び相手としてはかろうじて合格。
どう返信しますか？
私たちがここに留まっている事情を説明してあげて、ゆっくりと丁寧に時間をかけて、多少の誇張は構わないわ。
了解しました。でもどこから始めたものか。
宇宙開闢からなんてどう？
いや、いくらなんでもそれは。
つくづく真面目な方ね。
とりあえず
Oh, what do you call that?
今よりその理由を説明す。取っておけ。
God, it has a name for it, and I can't remember.
返信。事情説明は不要なり。我が方にも事情あり。それは汝の感知するところにあらず。これより2時間とどまりし、あと我が進路を塞ぐ者を蹴散らさんとの決意もて、我ら完全と進撃すです。
なるほど、誠意ある回答だわ。きっとあちらの指揮官も生粋の軍師ね。あなたと同じよ、参謀長。これ以上の交渉は無意味。
Filibustering, sorry. I just couldn't think of it. It was an F word. Filibustering is what they're doing.
ここにとどまれば、あの方たちは戦わずして時空粒子になって飛散する。
しかし我々を蹴散らすという以上、戦う余力を残しているはずです。おそらく十分以上。その余力を交渉でそぎ取れないでしょうか。
おやめなさい、未練がましい。取引はね、引き際が肝心なの。
何と返信しましょうか。
そうね、汝の意思を了解す。2時間以内に転身すべく努力しつつあるも困難なることをいかんとす。今は互いに英気を養わんというところかしら。
Yeah, the honesty is, if you push them too far, they could say half an hour and no time.
あの方々は死に物狂いで来るわよ。それでなくってもこっちが劣勢。困っているわね。やだやだ。
敵艦隊進撃開始まであと15分です。
これで最後の乗船者になります。あとはスポール提督がいかに時間を稼いでくれるかですな。
そうだな。司令、空中艇が着艦を要請しています。
空中艇？領民政府のか。
Asking you to land, you're already in the water.
領主代行殿下にお話があるとのことです。
I think it was a translation error. I don't know, I misheard
領
it.
民代表トマソフです。お初にお目にかかります。領主代行殿下。
そなただけか。
実はこれを。
どうしたのだそれは。
暴動があまり組織だったものではなくなりまして、位置さえ分かれば副代行閣下の救出も可能と考えたのです。それで上官に問い合わせたところ、惑星表面を操作し副代行閣下の現在地を割り出してくれたのです。
Good old Tomasov is actually doing work. He tried to rescue Jinto.
と言いましても、あくまで副代行閣下のその携帯端末の位置でして。
それであの者はどうなったんだ。
わかりません。我々が発見したのはそれだけです。その副代行閣下ご自身については限られた時間では居場所を確認することができませんでした。
そうか。
Does that imply Dokufu's body wasn't there?
ご苦労だった。そなたに感謝。
I don't know if he would mention that he found it on Dokufu's body or not.
時間に厳密な人って大好き。機下全艦に雷撃戦用意を下達。朝鮮信号を打ちなさい。
戦うのですか。
もちろんよ。まだロブナス伯国には我が艦艇がとどまっているのよ。
しかし 交渉によりかなり時間を稼ぎました。我々は十分に任務を果たしたのではありませんか。
そういう解釈もできるわね。でも却下よ参謀長。
わかりました。
This is what I was talking about before. She always felt like the person who wanted to fight because she was bored.
敵艦隊は前衛と後衛に分かれたようです。
後方部隊が補給部隊と考えていいかしら。
だとしたら大変分かりやすい体型ですね。
そうなのよ、それが気になるの。
敵戦闘部隊射程に入りました。
撃ってこないわね。
それは敵にとっても機雷は貴重品でしょうから。
決めたわ。
はい。
第4および第5戦隊は現位置にとどまり、漏れてくる敵を迎撃しなさい。一隻たりとも門を通さないこと。残りは私と共に敵前方部隊
I don't think I'm following it unless they're completely out of weapons and that's why they've been running around trying to waste time.
突破できなければ我々は包囲され全滅します。
あのね参謀長、28の報告の芸術家たちを集めてレトパーニュ大公爵の棺を建造中なの。棺が完成したら盛大に披露の共演を両国で行うつもり。それが我が家の伝統だから。
嫌な伝統だな。
Yeah, it seems like a big old celebration of death.
あと12年ほどで共演を催すことができるわ。あなたも招待して差し上げる。
ありがたき光栄ですが、ちょっと12年後の予定は立ちません。それより今を生き延びることが。
甲級巡察官はいい船よ。でもね、所詮大量生産の既製品。私の棺にしては貧相すぎるし、可憐じゃないわ。
Also, the implication that she wants to invite you to a family event. Come on, my dude.
全艦単艦時空砲第8密集体系を取りなさい。
せめて反抗戦隊隊で時空砲を組んでください。
却下よ参謀長。説明してる暇はないわ。私の言う通りにして。
しかし。はい、わかりました。
I don't know if it's going to be insulting to everybody who enjoys this show, but I think I enjoy the Duchess and her officer more than I actually do Jinto and Lafiel.
まあいいじゃないか。クファディスウェフエスピールセスピ。人間いつかは死ぬ。
Oh man, I don't know if I had your name before.
棺の披露宴への招待をいかにして断るか。悩まなくて済む。
Also, that sounded weirdly sexual when you say it out loud.
敵は対抗雷撃をする様子がありません。敵後方部隊が両翼へ迂回し始めました。
連絡手を出して。第4第5に敵後方右翼部隊を撃たせる。私たちは反攻戦隊時空砲を組む。
Did they send their supply ships out first as a distraction?
敵前方部隊が右舷から突撃してきます。
回答しなさい。目標敵後方左翼部隊。このまま敵前方艦隊を突っ切るわよ。全方位雷撃戦。
I'm trying to figure out the strategy here. I feel like it's a trick that they're in such a terrible spot that they're using empty supply ships or something.
はい。時空砲および体系を臨機応変に編成して時空砲を常に反攻戦隊隊員に保つことでしょうか。
その通りよ。お願いね。
はい。
ローム艦爆散。スルズビルシュ環境破壊され時空砲発生能力を喪失しました。艦長以下少子は全滅。
Already taking way too heavy casualties. I do think this is the first time, though, we've seen the pop in and out of full space tactic in the middle of a fight.
健在なのはスームビルシュだけです。緊急に他隊への行動を求めています。左舷に爆弾、衝撃来ます。爆散した船の確認はまだか。
敵艦であってくれ。
クレッカーです。
スームビルシュを本部時空砲へ融合させろ。
ダメです。スームビルシュ爆散しました。
ロブレス残留艦隊の脱出はまだか。
私の環境で騒がないで、参謀長。
すいません。
みんなそれを待っているんだから、真っ先に知らせが上がってくるわよ。
そうでした。
第13区画に直撃。
I mean, this is a bad fight. I feel like we get one bad fight every season at the very least.
旗を掲げた船が傷つくなんて、なんて屈辱。
ですが、別動隊はよくやってくれたようです。敵後方右翼部隊はほぼ壊滅です。
なんとかロブナス門はくぐらせなかった。
はい。ですがこちらは残存わずかに6隻です。
Oh, this better not be an episode where we lose the fucking Duchess.
これ以上は無理だわ。引き上げるわよ。
引き上げると言っても、すでに全方位が敵に囲まれています。
大丈夫よ、参謀長。これは無益な戦いなの。少なくともロブナスにいる輸送艦たちが脱出できるまでの時間を稼げなかった私たちにとってはね。
And technically, she said all other
私
ships.
たちが撤退を始めた途端、敵にとっても明らかに無益な戦いになる。おそらく追ってこないわ。あの方たちが意外にバカなら話は別でしょうけど。
そうですね。
回答を進路天の川門軍中心方面よ。構わないから正々堂々と逃げましょう。
Let's run fair and square.
完全移動状態。
了解。全艦ナース川に続け。敵が追ってきます。距離中接スケドル。時空融合後方170度。続いて2艦。
敵は意外にバカです。
あら、恨まれてるのかしら。とにかく突破するのよ。
Come on, do we have to lose someone great every season?
ドービルシュ爆散しました。
私としたことが引き時を誤ったのかしら。
殿下、全員の乗船も終わりましたが。
そうか。直ちに離水するわよ。
了解いたしました。軌道上の艦隊と合流し、ロブナス門へ。
It's hard to care about Lafiel's sadness right here when I think we're about to lose the Duchess. Like she's in such a bad spot that another ship had to jump in front of a missile. Oh, sorry, a mine. He's been unconscious on the floor the whole goddamn time. That's not good for you. So wait, how did they find the thing? I didn't see Angus on the floor. If Dokufu had it, how did they find it and him not there? Did Angus take it and like run off with it and then drop it somewhere? He was just fucking there too. I think Tom sums up a Thomas off now. Now I'm doubting Thomas off. This is, looks like I'm gonna mark you down for dead too, Angus.
そなたが死んだら私が悲しむ。
ラフィエル、僕は君のところへ。
状況はどうなっている？
現在確認中。反応出ました。敵艦隊ロブナス門を通過してきます。
間に合わなかったか。どうしますか？
このまま突っ込むしかないだろう。
I don't know how this is gonna work. Also, if they're pushing through, that can't be great for the Duchess either. The problem that we have here is a temporal one. Which is to say, we still have that moment in time that we saw at the beginning of the season that hasn't happened yet. My thought immediately goes to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. God, I can't remember. Arthur, sorry, forgot his name for a second. Where Arthur encounters that guy who Arthur has accidentally killed or been around his death through all moments of his reincarnations. And the dude, in blaming Arthur for his deaths, describes a thing to Arthur that hasn't happened yet. So when Arthur gets away, he's constantly thinking about that place that he's never been where this guy died, because he knows, I can't die until that happens. Well, that's the situation that we're in here, is there's that moment at the beginning of the season that hasn't happened yet. Now granted, I think it shows Jinto dying, so obviously Jinto can't die until he dies is a weird statement to make. I really hope they didn't kill the Duchess. I have said for two seasons now that she's one of the best characters. And especially to have her die in the middle of saying, oh, seems I may have made a mistake. That'd be a hell of a thing to do. But also, I'm now having doubts about Tomasoff. How did he find that thing when it would have been, or should have been, in a room filled with dead people? And an unconscious Jinto?
私は少子に向いていないの当然だ私の判断でこの事態を招いたのだからバスコットン民か全てはここから始まったんだ例外もあるがねもちろん健闘を祈る彼は私が初めて出会った同世代の地上人だった
Sorry, I just don't know what that means. Is Urkiel, sorry, I know I'm getting her name wrong, but fuck it. Is Urkiel, Ekriel? You know, it's the E-name girl. It's the E-girl from, last season that was taking care of the cat, and clearly had a thing for Jinto. Feels like she's regretting his death, assuming that he's dead now. I don't know who the other guy was, but I'm assuming it's part of the First Fleet that got away, because obviously they would have killed the Duchess and the other ships there, and the other ones were on the backside, who got the retreat order and were able to retreat. Name of the episode, Lay Down the Bow, has to be Surrender, right? That or she's going to retire from military service, because there was some sort of quote there about maybe I'm not fit for military service. I don't know, that's what that's reading to me. Anyway, what I was saying before, Tomasoff, how does he get the thing? I forget what it was called. I've got it in the notes, but I'm just working offhand here. How does he get the thing that Jinto wore on his wrist that Dokufu took off of him, put on his wrist, communicated to the Bass Royal, and then would have still been on his wrist when he got shot? And we see that just about everybody else except for Anguson was also shot and killed. Anguson, I proposed, may have left the area and then just dropped it somewhere, but no, he was still there because he's running down the pathway, shooting at the ship at long range in a crazed motion. So clearly he didn't do anything about it. So how did that thing get from that room to wherever Tomasoff would have found it if Tomasoff isn't a conspirator or underhanded or whatever, right? And if he is, then he's just lying. We couldn't find anything. In which case, Why is he lying? Especially if, per the previous conversation, he thinks that there might be a comeback if they don't find him. Because if they think, well, they said no, I'm not going to punish you. You've done your best. So maybe they're going to take his plan was to take Jinto for some reason, but then he didn't. He would have just left him there. This is this is just a big loophole in my mind. Why this happened? Why Tomasov had this thing but didn't find Jinto when we know where this thing was? Anyway, I'm going to talk myself in circles if I just let myself be buried in that. So, y'all know we're going into fast forward mode. I will see you at the end of that with actual notes instead of off the top of my head notes. So, catch you afterwards. All right, we are back from the fast forward, and the first thing I feel like we need to do here, well, first I want to show you. I only had him as Kufidus before, but now we've added his full name. I'm going to hold off on marking him as dead, these two as dead, until confirmation in the next episode. Same thing as I was doing with these guys over here, but of course, it's time, because we know, because we saw him, obviously also. Oh, god damn it. Sorry. I can't hold my push to talk button and do these lines. Okay, I thought it was bigger for some reason. Nope, they're 5-point lines. So I can't hold my push to talk button and do these lines because it auto adjusts them to be at 90-degree angles when I do. That's why I go quiet when I'm doing them. But yeah, no, we got shown that Dokufu is dead. Otherwise, those are the only two changes to make to the board. I just thought it important to do them while we're thinking about it. Otherwise, I don't actually have that many new thoughts here, or much to expand upon. Oh, also, can't apparently hold that push to talk button while I'm scrolling on the notepad either. Let's see. So now we know that Anguson dropped Jinto, most likely to participate in the fight in the room. It seems unlikely that a guy like him would have just stood there while everyone else managed to kill one another around him. There's got to be a reason why he's the only survivor, or the seemingly only survivor, and I have to believe, he had some effort into it. I don't have much to say on the negotiation, as I think I pretty well covered the whole haggling angle during the reaction itself. It was just a fun back and forth between the two sides before the battle. I suppose my only note would be on the nebulous nature of how time is passing in the show. We know that Lafiel needs 5 hours to evacuate, and that the United Mankind fleet is 3 hours out. Duchess then negotiates herself an hour, but that would mean that when Lafiel would still need 4 hours and the United Mankind fleet was 2 hours out, the negotiated time would have only run out. Would have run out, and the battle would have happened at exactly the same time as if the negotiation had never happened. I mean, they say that they've delayed them, and granted that they stopped moving for an hour, so maybe they delayed them out for 4 hours from the system, 3 hours out plus the hour of waiting, with the hope of delaying them with a 1 hour fight to buy Lafiel the bare minimum time that she requested. In which case, maybe, but we also don't know how long the battle lasted, so the implication there could be that they failed to hold out for that hour, and that's why it's coming down to the wire here. Either way, they kind of like sacrificed themselves almost completely for it, so you can't you can't say shit about them. They tried their best. I thought the word I was going to be looking for was Clyunu, I think that's how you say it, but my notes say that that's a blue gem worn on the back of the hand, and Jinto's thing was wrist mounted. I'm still terribly confused about Tomasov and the communicator, though. We see the body of the guy who had it, Dokufu again. We know every major player in that room. I guess it is possible for some rando to sorry. I guess it's possible for some rando to have survived and run off, but why grab one random object off of Tokufu and run off? Also, would you be looting dead people with Anguson in the room? It doesn't make much sense. In the realm of the unlikely, it seems more easily explainable that Tomasov would pull an unexpected heel turn for no reason than for a person to loot this thing for no reason and drop it in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it's just a hanging. I don't understand what this was. I mean, it makes sense to me if Tomasov is trying to save themselves or do a nice thing in the hopes that the royalty of the Ob doesn't fuck with them afterwards, even though he's already gotten that note from her. But it doesn't make sense why he would have this thing when we saw where it was and then saw that everyone seems to be dead in that room. I mistakenly said, by the way, this is my final note. I mistakenly said that this was the first time that we'd seen ships jumping in and out of a fold in the middle of battle. My mistake was that's not what was happening at all. What occurred to me in the rewatch was that this is exactly what the United Mankind forces did in the Crest of the Stars battle, um, the biggest battle there, when their fleet confusingly seemed to triple out of nowhere. It looks like Duchess was pulling the same move by making her fleet look larger than it was by having many more space-time bubbles emerge. Back then, we didn't, well, I say we, I didn't know how space-time bubbles worked in a fold, so it just looked like, oh, wow, they're doing something weird, and they've got many more ships than they had before. Now we understand it. It's not so clever of a trick, especially if everybody in the universe understands how this works. So it just occurred to me though when you're watching it, oh, this is how it looked from the other side. So yeah. Anyway, these have been my thoughts on episode 8. We are quickly approaching the end, and I don't know how Jinto gets from the top of a tower, assuming that he didn't get washed away and heavily injured by that, which would be even worse because it would then imply it's not the rebellion that causes Jinto to die. If he gets swept off the tower by Lafiel's ship taking off, there's an element of Lafiel having to think, oh, did I do this? Not only did I abandon Jinto on the planet, but actively trying to save these people created the situation. I'm sure the show isn't going to do that. That does not feel like the train of thought this show would take, but it's something that occurs to me now. Anyway, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?